Alright, y'all, this is Daku. I'm here with our elder, Miss Lottie. Is it okay if I call you Miss Lottie? Alright, they don't know who you are. You just a Lottie, right? And she's going to explain a little something to us about revolution and what we need to do to get out of this situation. So without further ado, Miss Lottie.
Good morning. It's so nice to have someone to talk to, because I've had this on my mind for a long time. And I know that I'm thinking in the right channels. I've been here almost 90 years, so I picked up a few things. You know what? Bullies, in the first place, you have to understand that bullies are nothing new. Right now, it seems to be a big thing about bullies. Bullies have always been here. When I was a little girl going to school, I was bullied by everyone. And I would come home crying and tell my aunt, oh, he hit me or he pushed me or whatever. So my aunt turned around to me one day and said, you know, Lottie, you've got to learn to protect yourself. I'm not going to put out that stuff, but if he hits you, hit him back. All I'm saying to you is, you've got to learn to protect yourself, because I can't be here for you all the time. I can't come over to school and help you. You learn to protect yourself. So the first thing she said, the first thing that you must do, you got to figure out your what. I said, how am I going to protect myself? She says, you'll have to figure it out yourself. She was working for a doctor. Of course, they have these large tomes of medical books, you know. And I went and got one, took myself to school. And this little boy, a particular little boy named James, he was waiting for me, but this particular morning I was waiting for him. I took that big book and knocked him out. And I really thought he was dead. Because I ran in school and I told the teacher, I said, I've just killed James. I've just killed James. So I told my aunt what happened. I said, you know, when James came back in the room when I said, he was just as nice to me as he could be. She said, Lottie, I've been trying to tell you, sometimes when people know that you will fight, you don't have to fight. All they have to do is know that you will fight. So I said, well, thank you for giving me that information. Well, after that, you know, nobody bothered me, because I had books. I said, now this thing that they want to call it a revolution, whatever you want to call it, it's just a matter of when you begin to fight somebody, you've got to fight, else they're going to continue to bully you. These people are just using us for bullying us. And I said, until we stand and speak for ourselves, fight back. I said, if you don't have anything but a tablespoon, go at them with that. Let them know that you will fight. It'll become unnecessary.
So what do you say about violence? I know you're saying we need to fight back. Are you saying that we only need to fight back with the law or with our religion? Or are you saying that somebody got to get their behind whooped?
Somebody has to get their behind whooped. It has nothing to do with religion. It has nothing to do with law. The law is helping to bully you. The law is out there helping to beat you behind. So you got to stand up to all of it. Did you see these big things they had in front of us? These people like shields in front of them up there at
down at Ferguson.
Yes. I said, now these were just ordinary people, had nothing. They had nothing to fight with. And I said, they would just bully them with all this big army equipment they're going to come in. And I said, it shows you what kind of leadership we have.
Okay.
But somebody behind has got to be whipped and whipped good, and they'll leave you alone. You have to let people know that you will fight. Then it becomes unnecessary. Because nobody really wants to go toe-to-toe every day. I said, so somebody will come to a compromise.
They're on the way out.
I said, they don't have to compromise with us now. Anytime they have a feeling that they want to go out and beat up on some black people or Chinese people, out they come with their bats and army equipment and anything they can get their hands on.
Because they know we won't fight back.
Because they know we won't fight back. I said, we're supposed to stay there if the streets are running with blood.
So what do you say, let me ask you this. You say you're almost 90, correct?
Yes, I am.
All right.
I know everything there is to know, and I know everything. I've seen everything.
Well, have you heard the stories, or have you seen any of it yourself, where before the Civil Rights Movement, because I read a little history lately, in which a lot of the little black towns were fighting back. They had the little guns and they were fighting back across America. Have you heard any of those stories?
Oh yes, I read them. There was an article on this week, Many Rivers to Cross, and I was looking at it, and it showed a couple of places where they tell black people to pull up, get your boots and pull them up. Put the stuff up by your boots. I said they did. They had their own town, their own mail, their own everything. And I said, what did they do? They ran it with matches and burned it up. I said, why can't I know two black folk know how to scratch a match?
Yeah, if they burning us up, why we not burning them?
I'm trying to find out why you don't know how to light a match.
If they can shoot a gun, you can shoot a gun.
That's what I'm trying to say.
Burn it down, you can burn it down.
Exactly. Because that's exactly what the Italians did when they came here. The Italians, they give them a bad time. But there are no illegitimate Italians now because they did what they wanted to do, and then most Italians now down in the Senate or Congress. But anyway, that's how you have to do it. You have to fight back. They would kill an Italian. They would find somebody laying up the street dead. Don't know what happened to him. There he was.
Response to the Italian.
Exactly. It wouldn't be enough Italian laying up there. Pretty soon, the Italian corpses sort of dwindled. We don't know what happened to them. We don't see Italian corpses anymore. We have to learn to do the same thing. Now, if it were me, but these police, this is just me. And of course I wouldn't last long because I'm 9 anyway, so just come out and scream at me and I'd fall over. But if I were younger, what I would do, when they come in my neighborhood and kill my father like they did the guy that he was caught selling cigarettes, loose cigarettes.
In New York.
In New York. They're gone. And I said, I was sitting looking at that whole procedure on television. They had him down, and one thing I dislike about white people, when they get ready to subdue a person, it takes 4 or 5 of them. There was one on the man's head, one on his feet, one holding him down, and one sitting on his back. I said, they are such cowards, because only cowards are bullies anyway. It's only anything you see acting the way they act, putting out the kind of behavior that they have, they are cowards. Because a person that wants to fight and is willing to fight, he'll come up and tell you what his statement, make his statement on why he's angry and what he wants to do about it. No, they sneak around. You shouldn't let them do that.
So what do you say about the black police officers?
When a police, the black ones
that were standing around, the black people that were standing around looking.
The black people that are standing around looking at the black police officers too, they're in the same shape Obama is. They can't do anything unless we all pitch together. 20 blacks standing around looking and probably would like to do something but are fearful to do something. They supposed to be getting themselves 20 more, get 20 more until you get enough. And then 20 people can't do anything by themselves. And actually, they are afraid too. Fear is what keeps them from doing most of this fear. We got to get out of this fear business because fear is going to get us killed anyway. So we might as well die. Putting up a front is to lay right down and let a person just stomp you. I mean, get up. If you're going to be a doormat, people are going to walk on you. That's exactly what's going to happen. You got to learn how not to be a doormat. Make them knock on the door. That's what they're knocking on the door for. You don't just walk right in.
So what do you, actually, I mean, that's all I got to ask. Because you pretty much said it all. Somebody got to get their butt whooped.
Exactly.
If it ain't going to be them, it's going to be us.
You can call it a revolution, you can call it a uprising, you can call it what you want to, but in the end, we've got to beat somebody behind, and then we'll have some freedom. They'll have respect. Nobody respects a damn doormat. You lay down and let people walk over, you're going to be walked over forever.
Well, Ms. Lottie, you said some of the most revolutionary things that I've heard of any age group, and you said you're 89?
I'll be 90 years old in 31st of October.
Oh, okay, so you're pushing on 90.
Yes, I am. I will be 90. Pushing it. I almost got it knocked down. I'm there almost.
But what you're speaking
and I'm
is
proud
no
of it. That's the thing.
No fear.
Get the fear out of you. If you have to, look, why not live? Why not fight for some freedom rather than to live like a damn dog?
So where do we get this fear? Where, in your estimation, where do you think we got this fear?
Well, I tell you, somebody dragged you out of your house, and who were dragged from our homes. In Africa, remember that?
Right.
If somebody drags out of your house and take you to a land that you don't know anything about, if somebody took me right now, as old as I am, and carried me to Timbuktu, can't speak a word of the language, have to do what they tell me to do, because they're the one with the whip in their hand. They have beat fear into us. They have beat fear into us. Now, it shouldn't be any reason that I heard this guy say the other day, you have to tell your black kids, boys in particular, now do this and do that when you go to. Why do you have to give your boys that kind of stuff? Because when you go out in the street, if the police looks at you, just stand up and don't look. You can't have to tell your child how to behave, except for good behavior. You teach them good manners and how to treat everybody. But you don't have any special rules for them when you see a policeman. It's ridiculous. You got to get out of it.
So I hear a lot of people blaming us for what the police are doing. Like this. Let me give you an example. Some have said that the young fella in Ferguson, Mike Brown, stole cigars. Now we found out, of course, he paid for the cigar. But let's say he did steal a cigar.
Right.
Is your life equivalent to some cigars?
Is your life equivalent to some cigarettes sold over the counter?
Right.
Cigarettes,
right.
You know?
Exactly. Eric Garner, exactly.
Yeah.
So that's no excuse.
They have always made the victim the criminal. He's the one that did everything wrong. This is the way they get by doing their nonsense. No, you just got to make up your mind. You don't give a damn who the criminal is or who did what when. Beats him behind, and everybody will figure out who's wrong. At least the one that got is behind, he'll think about it.
Yeah. So did you hear about the white guy recently? I guess a couple of days ago that had a gun and was pointing it at the police and everybody else. And
the black guy?
No, it was a white guy.
No, he didn't. Oh,
they didn't kill him.
No, he didn't.
He went down. Of course, he was still living because they know where to shoot you. They didn't kill him. He had a gun, armed and dangerous, but they didn't kill him.
This is another thing that I couldn't understand. You know, they said that he was in the store stealing something. I don't know what it was. What did you say it was?
Cigars.
Cigars. Well, why didn't they shoot him in the foot then?
In the foot, exactly.
Why didn't they shoot him in the foot then? They had to kill him for a cigar. But why couldn't they have shot him in the foot? And no, they went down that boy, they saw a boy walking down that road. And they saw, that's the one, let's work on him. Because this is the way they do business. Well, we'll get him. Then, if anything raising a hell about it, well, we'll just say that he was an old cigar stealer anyway, he do nothing but steal. I said, but if they were concerned about him stealing, they would have stopped him right then and there. They just wanted an excuse to beat up on somebody. Well, I'm 9 years old. I hope somebody gets me in their head to try me, because I'm going to certainly use my cane or whatever.
Anything you can get your hands on.
That's right.
Even if it's a spoon, like you said earlier.
That's right. I said, I'm keeping my hearing aid on, my eyeglasses closed, so I can see and hear what's going on.
Well, I want to thank you for speaking to the people, because they really need to hear this from the older generation.
Sure they do. Sure they do.
Many of the younger generations believe that you all are weak, and we following your footsteps, thinking that y'all are afraid to swing. But here you are, almost 90 years old, telling us that somebody got to get there behind us.
That's exactly right. I've seen it over and over again. The same thing I'm telling you to do. I don't tell anybody to do anything that I wouldn't do. So I keep my eyeglasses and hearing aids nearby, so I can hear and see what's going on. And if it's something that needs to be corrected, I will use my cane to correct it. Or anything I can get my hands on, for that matter.
Well, Ms. Lottie, you are certainly a warrior, and I hope our people can follow in your footsteps. Take your advice.
I hope so too, because you only die once. They can't kill you but one time. That's the blessed thing that God made that right.
And we all gotta die, right?
We all gotta die anyway. Why not die for something? Why not stand there and get your head beat in and then die? I've seen them, after police are through with them, their eyes are closed and their mouths, they can't talk. It's awful. You stand up and allow yourself to be beat that way. And you can't do something.
But one thing that I really enjoyed what you said, and that is You can't believe that we don't know how to strike a match.
That's what I can't believe.
If they can strike a match, we can strike a match.
If you don't know how, ask somebody. Please, how do you strike a match?
Look it up on the internet.
And once you learn how, you get as many matches as you can and start bombs. If you remember, we didn't get this, if you want to call it civil rights, we didn't get this little bit of liberty until we burned up half of Washington.
You right.
Don't you remember?
Yep.
We burned up half of Washington. Then they wouldn't harm black people here, they wouldn't harm there. Coca-Cola was one of them. As soon as they found out they were going to run down the Coca-Cola factory, I guess, they decided they better hire a few blacks.
Yep.
If they're going to burn it down, they're going to burn it down anyway. We're going to come on here.
I've said the same thing about all, you've seen all these liquor stores around here, about all these liquor stores, and we have an alcohol problem. The liquor stores are here only to make money. They don't care nothing about you. So a match, each liquor store got a match name on it.
That's exactly right. But these liquor stores are strategically placed in black communities where they're crime is at its height and people don't have any jobs and
so they're depressed. So
they're depressed. That's right. That's
go get some
drugs the same way. Drugs the same way. It only makes you. They don't realize and don't care really as long as they get some of this bad feeling out of them.
And even if it's temporary, people say it's only a temporary fix. Okay. All right, Miss Lottie. Well, thanks for talking to me. We're gonna go ahead and
thanks a lot.
Thank you. All right. I got it. Thank you.